Last week, I told you about the week I had in prison. Now, we're continuing that tradition now. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Chaos. My name is Vlad, the-tek, and yes, we're here for another Last Week in Prison video. And last week, I may have lied to you and said that this week was going to be boring. However, I didn't expect a frozen apocalypse. Monday and Tuesday, I was supposed to return to work, and I returned to work to several callouts. And also some confusion, I will get to that, and something really awesome news. Considering my health. Starting off with Monday, it was a pain in the ass to get to work because, as you know, a giant snowstorm was sweeping across the entire Midwest, including Texas. Texas got fucked. Texas is still fucked from what I know. So we drove in the middle of a snowstorm all the way to work and almost crashed into a car, but hey, we didn't. And we got there alive. I wasn't the one driving, by the way. However, the entire prison was severely understaffed to the point where people were staying for 4 to 8 hours extra. Unfortunately, even though your shift is ended, you can't necessarily leave your post, which is just the reality of where I work. So there was a lot of unfortunate people stuck there in a very pissed off mood. On the bright side, I still got to learn some things about the control center, which is where they had me stationed. Now, the control center actually controls, well, some of the cameras and some of the doors within the entire facility. They actually share control with the command tower. And that's part of the reason why I thought that this would be boring, because aside from that and learning how to work the x-ray machine and stuff like that, it was actually really boring. So I'm pretty much going to be talking about the stuff around the job that kind of happened, and all that shit. On the bright side, the entire prison never lost power, which is really, really good. On the not so bright side, I didn't learn a whole lot the first 2 days. However, at the end of my first day, when I got home right around 7:30 p.m., I actually got a call from a sergeant saying that I didn't have to show up the next day because of some reason, and I forgot why. And I just said, oh, okay, well, that sucks. So I actually woke up the following day, and I actually started doing some grinding for Library of Ruina, when I got a call from the training coordinator saying, oh, yeah, by the way, there was some miscommunication, and you are supposed to be here. You know, an hour after I was actually supposed to be there. My initial thought was, ah, fuck. So I ended up speeding off to prison with very poor road conditions. It was me driving this time, and luckily I made it there safe and sound. Barring the miscommunication, it was actually a pretty straightforward day. Wednesday, however, was kind of a bit of a different story because some thoughts were going through my head pertaining to the fact that we do have a COVID wing and we are still, you know, going through COVID and stuff like that. And my job falls under the category of first responders, which means that would put me in... God, how did they describe the phases and tiers again? Hang on, I gotta look this up. That would put me in phase 1B, tier 1, I believe? Yeah, phase 1B, tier 1. I don't get their naming convention either. Phase 2, I'm assuming, is general public. But being that I'm in phase 1B, tier 1, that I'm technically under a first responder, because that's technically what you are in a prison, is a first responder. You don't just watch over the offenders and make sure that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. You're also supposed to respond to emergencies that are within the prison, which is quite a bit of a responsibility. And because you're working around people who potentially have the disease, you should be vaccinated for it. And there was a sign-up sheet back before I started working, and I even got an email stating that if I hadn't signed up for the COVID shot, I should do that. And I was actually, my first week, which was all training, not even object on-the-job training, so I wasn't inside the prison yet, but I was doing a lot of orientation training and stuff like that, just basic stuff, and part of that was trying to go around and figure out, you know, how do I sign up for it? Because being that I might have the same autoimmune condition that my mom has, I kind of want this. For those of you who don't know, my mom has a condition called myasthenia gravis, and there is some thought that I might have it as well. It is a condition where your body's immune system actually attacks the nerve endings to voluntary muscles in your body. One group of such muscles being the muscles that control your breathing. So yes, if you catch COVID and you overwork your muscles, it'll cause your immune system to not only attack the virus, but it'll also attack the muscles around your lungs, which could actually cause you to die. So I thought to myself, I better get the COVID shot before I actually catch the disease. Granted, I will give them this. They have taken the pandemic extremely seriously. They no longer allow visitors. They do use the visiting center for some things. I just can't remember what. They're also pretty transparent about how many cases they have. both active and potential cases. So there's a great amount of transparency. They give you time to get tested and all this other good stuff. and they're really serious about, COVID-19, which actually kind of surprised me that when it came to new recruits getting the vaccine, that we didn't really hear a whole lot. I had to actually go hunt down the training coordinator, who is not the person to ask about this stuff, so that he could actually hunt down the people that I need to get into contact with so I can get my shot. And that's where Wednesday was a pretty heavy day, because there were people getting their second dose of the COVID vaccine. And the following day, Thursday, was going to be the first doses. And from my understanding was that the people getting the first doses on that day, all those vaccines were actually spoken for. But my training coordinator, he really was, he convinced me that I should still fill out a form and go talk to people to make sure that they've got copies of my insurance card, just in case, because not all of them are going to be claimed. And if not all of them are, or they have some extra for whatever reason, then they would try to get some of the OJTs and new recruits that were coming in to get their dose of the vaccine. And he also encouraged me to tell my sergeant or shift captain that, hey, there's a possibility that I might be leaving my position for a little bit to go get this vaccine, because they have to give you the vaccine, and then you also have to sit there for 15 to 30 minutes to make sure you don't have any adverse reactions. Thursday rolls around. I'm not really expecting a whole lot. I'm not even expecting to get the vaccine. I did, however, tell my sergeant that, hey, there is a possibility that I might be whisked away to go do that. And he looks at me dead in the eyes and go, oh, don't worry, they'll definitely get you in. Like, but I'm a new recruit. It's like, oh, don't worry about it, they'll get you in. It's like, okay. Because for the longest time, I'm used to people not giving a shit about their employees. So normally when people say, oh, we'll try, I can almost undoubtedly expect them not to do anything. This has happened to me in so many different jobs in the past, so going in, this is kind of what I expected from this job, because why would things be any different here? Noon rolls around, and my sergeant goes, okay, you guys signed up for the vaccines, one of those people being mean, go ahead and go. Like, wait, what? Oh, what? We're doing this? I was kind of shocked and a little nervous, because, yeah, even though in my head I know that there's nothing to worry about, it's still just that general anxiety of, I'm getting injected with science juice, which, by the way, there really is nothing to worry about. Take it from me, because right after that, I got my vaccine and I had no reaction. If you've ever had a tetanus shot, it's pretty similar to getting one of those. Your arm may hurt. The other person, who was also a trainee, she got hers the same day I did, and she had a little red mark, but she might have a more dramatic reaction to the vaccine, but that's because she has actually been sick with COVID and recovered. So it kind of makes sense as that she had a little bit more of a dramatic reaction, but although it's nothing really to worry about. She wasn't taken out of work. I wasn't taken out of work. I went back the next day. I had a bit of a sore arm, but that was it. I keep asking another trainee that was in our class, if like she's gonna get the vaccine, and she keeps answering no. And I'm like, okay, so if I get the vaccine, both doses, and don't die, will you get yours? She hasn't answered me, and I'm still going to keep on her about that. And pretty much whenever it comes to the topic of the vaccine and the illness, I've been educating other people around the facility, because there are still a scary number of people who work there who, honestly, it scares me to think that they believe in these conspiracy theories so much. Honestly, it's getting to the point where I think I should make my own video on the vaccine whenever it opens up to the general public and debunk some of these conspiracy theories. But it shocks me that people, grown human beings, believe in childish fairy tales like this. I've heard conspiracy theories come out of the mouths of adults who are supposed to be caring for other individuals. Even though these individuals are, criminals, you're still supposed to be human. I've heard everything from, oh, the vaccine's not safe because it was rushed, to it's just a microchip that the government's implanting into you to track you, which is stupid, because I can track you without a microchip. Me, personally, I can track you without a microchip. Pretty much all I need is your first and last name, and I can find ways to track you. And if the government was so adamant about tracking everyone, why would they make the vaccine optional? Although in my personal opinion, since this is actually a public health concern, and we work for the state, if I was the warden, this is just me personally, I would say, okay, you can choose not to get the COVID shot, but you're either going to have severe restrictions on what you can do and how you're going to conduct business within the facility, or even go as far to say as, if you don't have your COVID shot, you can't work here. you need to find another job. I probably wouldn't say, well, if you don't get the COVID shot, you can't work here. That would probably be a last resort. It would probably be along the lines of, okay, if you're not getting the COVID shot, you are expected to wear a mask at all times, and you cannot work around offenders. And the other people who work around you, they have to basically have the COVID shot and also wear a mask. Because even though once I get my second shot and I wait 2 weeks, I'll be immune to the disease. That doesn't mean that I can't spread it. That's actually why herd immunity depends on everyone, the general population, of maintaining a certain number of vaccination rates. Is because if you fall just a little bit below that rate, then you actually lose herd immunity. There was actually a case in France where where there was enough people not getting vaccinated for polio. Well, not polio, it was measles. And the vaccination rates fell just by 5%. It wasn't that much. And all of a sudden, there was a huge outbreak of measles in France. And this is why public schools say that you have to get vaccinated. So it's actually kind of concerning to me that as a member of the executive branch of government, which, by the way, since I work for the state, I'm technically a member of government, we should be setting an example for everyone else. Yeah, sure, I'm basically just a prison guard, but I need to set an example, right? So I'm doing that by saying, hey, look, I got my vaccine, and I'm probably going to make more videos on this subject in the future, but I got my vaccine, I had a sore arm, I went to work the next day, and yeah, that actually earned me a lot of respect with a lot of other people inside of the compound. Anyways, the last day was the testing day, not a whole lot. I did fence checks, and was able to go home and all that fun stuff. But I actually got to go through 8 House, and 8 House scared me because it's essentially the solitary house. There's one reason alone why you're in there. Either you are a severe danger to other people, or you're actually mentally ill. I should probably actually just stop using the term mentally ill, but you're in there for a reason. You guys know. And what actually scared me about that place was when I walked in from doing fence checks, which is the whole reason why I went there, it wasn't scary because of all the loud noises that you normally hear in like 7 House. There wasn't anyone banging on the cell doors. There weren't people screaming at you, describing the things they were going to do to you. It was quiet. And that was honestly the scary part. The last thing you want to hear in a house that has people who are a clear and imminent danger to the other people around them is silence. Because you have no idea why they're being so quiet. Sure, they could be sleeping, but you don't know. It's hard to know. That's honestly the scary part. I think with that, we're going to end things there. Yeah, not a whole lot of you guys watched this the last time around, but I'm going to keep making these because first off, it's fairly easy content. And two, maybe you guys might watch this and learn something interesting. I don't know. But if you did watch this and you made it to this point, leave a comment in the comment section below. Or join me over on Discord and let me know about things there. Also, in the description, you'll find a whole bunch of other things, including links to other social media sites like TikTok, which I've been trying to make more content for over there. Actually, my TikTok followers are about to match my YouTube subscribers here before too much longer. And while you're in the description, you can support me monetarily by going ahead and signing up for my Patreon, or buying stuff off of the channel wish list down below. Next week, I will start going to Academy, which means that things are going to get really real for the next 3 weeks. But for now, thank you guys so much for watching, and if you enjoyed it, feel free to show me some love down below by hitting the like button, and don't forget to check out the annotations for more videos. And I will see you in the next video.